Hello, my name is Ben.
And I'm Taylor.
And today we are going to describe some gestures that can be used in a presentation so that you can become more powerful and your topics become more interesting and meaningful to your audience.
First off, you might be asking yourself what a gesture is. Here's Lwendo to describe it.
Thanks, Taylor. Now, a gesture is a body movement that reinforces a verbal message or conveys a particular thought or emotion. These movements can be made with the head, shoulders, or even the legs and feet. However, they are mostly made with the hands and arms. Back to Ben and Taylor.
All good speakers use gestures. Why? Here's Chelsea to explain that.
Thanks, Ben. Because gestures are probably the most evocative form of nonverbal communication a speaker can employ. They clarify and support your words, dramatize your ideas, lend emphasis and vitality to the spoken word, help dissipate nervous tension, function as visual aids, stimulate audience participation, and are highly visible.
And here's Kristen to give you one more piece of advice before the gestures are explained.
Thanks, Taylor. However, you have to make the gestures go along with something, or else your gestures either make the audience very confused or they cause the audience to be distracted from your main theme. To be sure you're doing a beneficial gesture, try grouping them into one of the following categories that are gestures known to be helpful.
And here's Taylor, Lwendo, Kristen, Chelsea, and I with the descriptions of the gestures.
Descriptive gestures are used to describe an object or a situation. For example, you could talk about the size or shape of something. By using your hands, you can show how long something is or the shape. You can also use this to show movement or motion. For example, you could describe the way the waves were moving. These are just some examples. There are many more of how descriptive gestures can be.
Our next gesture that we're going to be talking about are emphatic gestures, which are used to kind of convey a certain emotion that you feel about a certain event or anything that happened to you, and you want to show the other person or people how you felt about that event with sincerity. So, like, I'm sure we've all been there, like, you know, we've had that certain math test or something, and then we aced it and we're just like, yes! So you might let out a little grin or something, or you'll have your fist like this in the air, and you raise them, you're just like, yes! And you bring them down, you're like, yes, I aced that test. Or if you failed it or something, you'll kind of throw your arms and just be like, I don't know what I was doing, man, I just didn't study. And then people actually either feel bad for you, because they, you know, see your body language as an indication that you don't feel good about yourself. Or if you ace it, they'll see this body language and think, wow, yeah, that was a good job. And he really, you know, was excited about it. And emphatic gestures really show the emotion in certain events rather than saying, oh yeah, I aced that test. Someone will be like, well great. They won't really feel the effect of what you're saying until you actually show them with your body language, which are emphatic gestures.
The next gesture is a suggestive gesture, which are symbols of ideas and emotions. They depict moods or expressions, such as when a speaker's arms are wide open and their palms are up, they seem more welcoming to their topic. Or when their arms are crossed, they seem shut out of the topic, not allowing for other information to be said or not listen to others' ideas.
The last gesture is known as a prompt gesture. This gesture is used to have the audience do it too. So, such as when a person is singing, they start waving their hands side to side, wanting everyone else to do the same. Another prompt gesture is asking a would you question, and then having your hand raised up in the air, wanting the audience to do the same. And then getting the audience to do the same helps get your point across.
Prompting gestures are always kind of funny, but always seem to work. When I think of prompting gestures, I always seem to think of church. For example, when the head singer starts clapping his hands to get everyone going, and they all do it. Or when the head pastor at the end of the sermon asks everyone to raise their hands if they impacted them. Or if the pastor starts to pray and bows his head, and everyone else joins along. It's just a gesture that gets the audience involved and gets them to join in. Well, that's all the information we have for you, but we're going to leave you with one last thought. When it comes to gesturing effectively, remember to
Number 1, respond naturally to what you think, feel, and say.
Number 2, create the conditions for gesturing, not the gesture.
Number 3, suit the action to the word and the occasion.
Number 4, make your gesturing convincing.
And finally, make your gestures smooth and well-timed.
Thanks for watching.